Hello, everybody. Hello. Tashi Dele. I hope you had a good week and having good weekend. And everyone is doing fine. Everyone is being there for each other. And I hope you have tried your best to find, reasons and meanings to be happy, positive, like that. So everyone, welcome back to this session. Yeah, so as usual, first we do short breathing exercise, just simply breathing lengthy in and out, and try to focus your mind to that and try to calm both your body and mind in the present moment. Yeah. Then refresh our refuge practice. Strengthen our conviction and the awareness of Guru Buddha Dharma Sangha within us. Feel the blessing. Then generate altruistic intention. Try to express as sincere, as intense as possible of great compassion, loving kindness, towards all the sentient beings, starting from someone nearest to you, then to the rest of the sentient beings. The altruistic mind that express in the understanding of love, in the understanding of compassion, in the understanding of kindness, etc. Semje tamje dewa tan dewe kyutan demura juche semje tamje tunga ta tunga je kyutan rawa juche semje tamje tunga me dewa tan me rawa semje tamje nyere chata nye tan dewe tanyo nan nema semje tamje tunga ta tunga je kyutan rawa juche semje tamje tunga dewa gyore je semje tamje dewa tan dewe amye tunga me dewa tan me rawa juche semje tamje nyere chata nye tan dewe tanyo nan. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so we continue from where we stopped last. And before doing that, there's one clarification that I need to do. Just the correction of the spelling. I would say the missing word to the Shantideva's the verses that quoted here. The one line, which is here, it says, even in samsara, there will be happiness. So even in samsara, there will be no happiness. Yesterday I saw this. I have a note. Okay, just a minute. Yeah, because I taught this text before. Yeah, so so you need to add no. Even in samsara, there will be no happiness. So that's one thing. Then the interpretation that I have done in relation to these verses, and that still remain the same. The word, this single line, that which, if you want to attach to the earlier three lines, then, as I explained, the last class, how to actualize happiness in samsara. How to actualize happiness in the midst of samsaric environment in samsara, and that is possible, if someone if someone carry the genuine practice of the true altruism, the emptiness, and the conventional altruism, in particularly the practice of Tonglen, the practice of self-exchanging with others. In the practice of that, then even individual still, carrying the samsaric aggregates, the conceptual mind, as well as the contaminated, the physical aggregates, through the tools of the practice of Tonglen, one's being can be stay separated from the influence of the samsara, meaning from the influence of the suffering. So one can be separated from the samsara while still the aggregates are still the basis of basis of one's being. Oneself still a sentient being. Oneself still not completely liberated by total negation of the samsaric aggregates and its causes, but the being, which is very much about the consciousness, the consciousness that which is completely trained by the wisdom and method, that awakening state of being can be free, can be achieved, the liberation from the impact and the suffering of the samsara. You see, so in that way, then even in the samsara there will be happiness. You see, it's not saying samsara is happiness. Even in the midst of samsara, you can still be happy. You see, the samsara has no happiness. The samsara itself is not happiness. Samsara itself is suffering. Samsara is, the samsaric nature is lacking of happiness, lacking of true happiness. You see, so whether that being is under the control of samsara or not is not about the physical aggregates, not about the delusional mind. It's about the core being, the core wisdom, the core awareness, whether that is being free of pervasive, the contaminated existence. If the core being is free from the pervasive, contamination, even while you are carrying this basis of the pervasive compounded aggregates, still, can experience the liberation. You see, so this is a very clear example of the great living masters, including the Shakyamuni Buddha himself, whose the reality, whose fact is already enlightened, numberless eons before, based on the Mayanic understanding, Mayanic interpretation, the Gautama Siddhartha, who came into this world to display the deeds of the 12 deeds only, is not freshly, actualizing enlightenment. He have already actualized full enlightenment numberless eons before, but when he take the rebirth and accordingly with the ordinary human being, which rendered the flesh, the physical aggregates, then the influence that he gets to his mind by the environment or the conceptual influences, it is, it is very much, how to say, is very much like rendered or influenced by the factors, like the physical aggregates very much rendered from his parent, but it is from his parents. So therefore, it is subjected to be decay. It is subjected to be, disintegrate. So therefore, Buddha showed the manifestation of dying, showed the manifestation of complete, disintegration of his body. But while he was carrying that body, he displayed the path of liberation, path of full enlightenment. While he was carrying the aggregates, he was enlightened under the Buddha tree, isn't it? You see, so therefore, even in the earlier yanas way of interpretation, the nirvana, with remain, nirvana without remain, there's a big meaning there. There's a big reason why call as a nirvana with remained, nirvana without remained, you see. But this can be also taken as a certain degree of greater understanding to the interpretation of the Mahayanic Dharma, like such as here at the Lojong teaching. On the basis of the samsaric aggregates, still, person can be achieve liberation. You see, so therefore, even in the samsara, there will be happiness, even though samsara is in the nature of suffering. You see, so that's one way. So even in samsara, there will be no happiness as long as our being is not changed. Our being is unable to disassociate with the condemnation of the delusions, the karmic imprints, karmic influence, then there's no end to the misery, to this continuum. You see, so it's very much saying there won't be any chances of experiencing happiness. So even in samsara, there will be no happiness. You see, so there's many ways to the understand. So anyway, this is just a clarification. So today, please go through the page 94. So based on the Shantideva's the quotation that they're quoted in this text, is very much learning about the core practice of the altruism, which is the Tonglen practice, which is the self-exchanging with the other. And after learning the importance of that, so very much the what do you call the conclusion of the understanding is, if we are unable to thought bring into transformation of actual exchange self with the other, then any form of liberation is not possible. So the samsara will be endless. As long as we can able to do that, even in samsara, we can able to stay free from the suffering. Even in samsara, we can enjoy the liberation. And not only that, we can able to achieve the highest level of liberation, not only beneficial for yourself, but for the benefit of the rest of the numberless sentient beings, the full enlightenment, you see. So, so that is the core understanding. So if we want happiness, then self-exchanging with others is must. That has to take place. You see, if we do not wish to experience any form of suffering, then that practice has to take in place. So now, now we get to understand, this is the essence of the conventional altruistic practice. So we understood that, you see. Now we understand the essence of the conventional altruism is the self-exchanging with others, the absolute Tonglen practice, you see. So now, how to actualize that? Just knowing it is enough? No. We understood now we need to meditate. You see, now we need to meditate. So the meditation is the only, absolute way to actualize any realization in the any form of the path. We have discussed extensively on the ultimate altruism, on emptiness. Without meditation, not possible to actualize realization. Similar goes to even all the method aspect of the path. When we wish to achieve the realization, if we wish to experience the real taste of the Bodhisattva, if we wish to experience the real taste of, certain degree of freedom, of experience of liberation, even in the samsara, and if we wish to experience all the stages of the higher qualities of the Arya Bodhisattva up to full enlightenment, then we have to meditate. So now the second phase of teaching is to talk about meditation. Okay, so the meditation, again, similar way, like how we discussed for the emptiness, it involves analytical meditation. Then it must, the analytical meditation must take forward to the, single-pointed or absorption meditation, even to the method practice, like loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta practice, a Tonglen practice, like that. So any of the spiritual practices, this process is definite, to every practices. If we are really looking for realization, so the absolute realizations in the path is a result of the absorption meditation. You see, not even good enough as a perfect, result of the path based on the analytical meditation. And no way can be good enough just simply understanding, having the knowledge about it. You see, so the absorption meditation. So why absorption meditation must take into account, must engage, because the realization is the in-depth, the subtle, what you call the qualities of in-depth and subtle consciousness. You see, and that form of realization, that form of actualization is very stable, very genuine, very sincere, very pure. Okay. So that result is like called as a complete result of the path. You see, so whether to do with the love, kindness, compassion, first we learn about the definition. Then after that, we try to, after that, we need to contemplate on it by giving reasoning, by giving examples, by giving experiential kind of observations, then that confirmation taking into, the placement meditation onto that particular object of meditation, like can be love, then that intense taste of that intense, spontaneous, complete, uh, fully, matured, in-depth qualities of that particular mind that comes in our continuum, and that is the result of the absorption meditation. So like that. So it is a very, 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 structured, clear. So I very much just, read through it. So, so after learning from the quotation, then it says, in this turn has two parts, the actual meditation session and the subsequent period. So the first, yeah, so another thing, you see. So until we achieve the state of full enlightenment, until we achieve the state of omniscience, then our being, our awareness is always, comes in the two categories, never like completely in absorption, you see. So therefore, the practices, either in the process of training or either in the process of application, has to be divided into two, like meditation session and post-meditation session. So you see, and as we discussed in the last class, that post-meditation has to be a process of getting impacted by the practice of meditation. So why we meditate is not only during meditation that we're able to have we're able to have the ability to stay in the practice, but we have to have the impact that we receive, that we able to our awareness or our practices have the capability to even influence when we are in the post meditation sessions. So now here, meditation and post meditation. So the meditation session, how to practice during the meditation session, is presented by the followings. Train in the two giving and taking alternately. So first, seated on the comfortable cushion, visualize your dear mother vividly in front. First, to cultivate loving kindness, compassion, and reflect in the following manner. So this practice of self-exchanging with others, or Tonglen practice, giving and taking, very much try to actualize the result through the cultivation or through the cultivation of the causal stage of training in loving kindness and compassion. You see, so try to actualize the perfection, the practice of perfection practice in giving and taking through training our heart in love, through training our heart in kindness, through training our heart in compassion. There are a few different ways to actualize the result of absolute realization on the giving and taking, but in this particular training, very much in relation to the Geshe Potowa's way of training, is through training in loving kindness and compassion. So for that, you start with first with the loved one, then to the neutral, then to the so-called as enemy or the harm givers. You see, so therefore, first you visualize, your mother, vividly, and if that also the compassion has to be started with, the at least with one person like your mother. Then gradually this compassion should be developed uh, to the great compassion, which is the mother here can refer to the all mother sentient being. Mm. So, so first the analytical meditation. So the way to do the analytical meditation, is very much giving reason to your understanding. Mm. So it says in the text here, because she, my mother, first gave me this human existence of leisure and opportunity, which she nurtured without any negligence. Mm. I have encountered Buddha's teaching. You see, so this is one of very, very important reason. You see, without our for this life, for example, this life, without mother's protection, without mother being existent, definitely you won't be existent. The human has to be byproduct of parent, isn't it? And the mother is the one that who kept us in her womb, who nurture us, who protect us. If there's a slight mistake, slight negligence, slight abandonment, when we are in her womb, our life, we will not have our precious human rebirth now. We learn so much about how lucky, how fortunate, like many years of prayers is fulfilled, like to meet perfect Mayanic Guru. Even now we pray, isn't it? One of the most important prayer that we every day we do, or all the teachers advise us to do, is to pray that we never be separated from perfect Mayanic Guru, until we achieve full enlightenment. And we have achieved that today, you see. And that possibility happened because of we have this precious human rebirth. We have this human rebirth. And this human rebirth is only available, through the protections of mother's kindness. Without mother's kindness, it's totally impossible, isn't it? You see, so these are, reason to prove. This is analytical reasons to prove. So, even the encounterance of the Buddha Dharma, how rare it is. We talk so much about it, and we can understand, how rare it is. When we think carefully, firstly, it's so rare to be born, during the era of Buddha Dharma is existing. So even we born in the era of Buddha Dharma existing, if we born in a barbaric land, there's no way we can meet. Even if we happen to born in the where Buddha Dharma are there, but then our parents, our family members reject, since little that you are infused or you are influenced in the other path, then how it will be, since little until now, our parent, our mother have given freedom for us to, meet this, Buddha Dharma. Some of the parents, they may be practicing other faiths, but they never stop us, to learn Buddha Dharma, to practice Buddha Dharma. Maybe some of you must have faced some rejections for you to, be Buddhist, for you to learn Buddhism. But the reality is you are now practicing Buddha Dharma, and that comes with a great liberation that provided, great freedom that provided, by our family members, in particularly our mother. You see, one of these, the strongest emotional bonding have already kind of like, didn't tie you back to other ways. You see, so so this is the most precious, and in many of our cases, our parents are the one is our inspiration. Like His Holiness the Dalai Lama always say that his first teacher of love and compassion is his mother. You see, his first guru is his mother. Even though his mother is illiterate, never study, but just having this compassionate nature, compassionate relationship with your children and people among you, people who comes towards you, and more than that, giving absolute freedom for your pursuit of spirituality. You see, being themselves, even though illiterate, but they conduct their very best in the practice of loving kindness, compassion, and most of all, they support what you do, like what His Holiness Holy Mother have done to His Holiness, like Kyabje Lama Sopa Rinpoche's Holy Mother. Rinpoche's Holy Mother too is illiterate, but through her living in the life of the actual practice of the essence of the Dharma, which is, loving kindness, compassion, and the support and the freedom that given to Rinpoche, to who Rinpoche today is. You see, it's an immeasurable support, immeasurable reasons who Rinpoche is. Even that point of view is the mother. You see, not just giving birth. That itself is a huge meaning, huge reason. But even after he was born, without the mother's blessing, how is possible? You see, I can give my personal example in relation to my late guru's reincarnation, Phunzo Rinpoche. The blessing, the freedom, even though their parents are illiterate, just simply knowing the purpose of their children's life, which is to offer benefit to numberless sentient beings. They never learn, but they understand that, the importance. You see, for that, they can sacrifice anything, even though it's emotionally, it's so hard. Because when the child in such a tender age, little baby, taking away from your parent, especially a mother, you can understand how hard it would be. You see, and if that emotion they are unable to control, and if they, attached, and if they, reject the children to pursue the Dharma, can you imagine, what's going to happen? You see, so whoever this precious child going to be, the main blessing, the condition is the parent, in particularly mother. You see, and there are also many incidents, when the parents don't support, even some reincarnations, even some very talented, children's, even though the children pursue the Dharma path, but because of the rejection, the journey of that, that is spiritually talented, or you can say spiritually chosen, can be totally had to experience different form of life, totally away from spirituality. It also can happen like that. You see. So that goes to just giving a few examples, but that can relate to each and every one of us. Each and every one of us, they play the role of making who you are today, which we are all learning Lojong. We have freedom of learning Lojong. We have freedom to meditate on the Lojong teaching. We have freedom to cultivate. We have all the capability, all the ability, all the conditions to, cultivate loving kindness, compassion. You see, like for myself, I had a very, very, very tough time with my late father. There's a full rejection for me to become monk. For 6-7 years, you no way can become monk. You are the oldest son. I need to work in the field. So you are born to suffer like me. So no way, so you see, so age of 6, 7, age of 7, 8, 9, you have to work as a porter without shoes, without proper clothes, carry 10 kilos of barley, 10 kilos of barley from a snowy mountain all the way down to extremely hot place in the Kathmandu Valley, working for 15 days, morning 6 to evening 6, just taking 2 spoons of barley flour mixed with the waterfall water, stir and drink. That is the food. You see, then you sleep, shelter around the stupa, like many of you have been to Nepal. You don't see that many nowadays, but you still see some beggars just sleeping around the stupa. Like I did also. About 3 years I did like that. Until until my father able to sell all those barleys or medicinal herbs, so that we can buy rice, we can buy chili, we can buy sugar, to bring back home. You see, then when you go back, you carry 10 kilos of rice. This little 7 years old, tiny, skinny, poor little boy, and who cares whether you suffer or not? Like you are like kind of born to be like that. You see, so like that. So when I first become monk, here I got this mark of so deep, because you have to carry a rope to support the luggage. So when I become the monk, of course, I have to shave all my hair. So then my teacher, late Geshe Lama Koncho, you see this. So every day, he touch his hand like this. Every day, at least few times, maybe morning, evening, at least few times. And each time he touch, he don't say anything, he accept this word. The kindest person in your life is your father. Because of him, you are here now. You have the opportunity to become monk, and you are enjoying life here with Dharma, with all the facilities. And because of his kindness, that you will have a very stable monk's life, very successful monk's life. How successful, I don't know, but but happiness wise, yeah, I think very successful, because he's always very happy. Because I almost like cannot ask more, because I went through the suffering part. with awareness. I'm aware of how suffering it can be out there. Because it's a far away to understand the pervasive suffering, which is far away. But at least this gross, samsaric suffering for a poor, educated, Dharma educated person, these are very, very helpful to understand what really suffering is. You see, so because of that, you can say that because of this, always feel grateful, feel happy, feel fortunate, to be monk, to practice Dharma, to do Dharma works. It's like the joyous thing. It's like, from every reason you feel the most meaningful thing, even in the reality, if I still remain as my earlier life, then I don't think I can benefit much. I can benefit maybe few, to just maybe my wife, my children, whatever, few of them. But now it's like everyone is my family. You literally can feel that. Everyone is like your loved one. Everyone is so dear to you, and everywhere you go, everybody you feel like you're part of you. You see, and that heart was open because of you went through that difficult time. You see, so anyway, so after three years, initially, so much anger towards my father, and I even get angry towards my guru, which is so heavy karma. I misunderstand him. Why you don't say, that maybe your mother or your someone else as the kindest person in your life? Why you keep saying that someone who I used to misunderstand, that he make me so much suffering, that is the kindest person in your life? But then the never giving up, consistent repeating that word into my ear, and give us such a strong imprint, because of he touches my head, so you can, there's all the sensation can feel it. So like kind of like crossing through the bum, hum, or crossing through a hum, not bum. Yeah, hum. So even if it makes, every single the methods, really bring a strong imprint in your heart. So after 3 years, you completely transform, and you realize that, wow, through the Dharma understanding, yes, all the goodness is my parent, and especially my father, who give me the most suffering. You see, why I have a full freedom to practice Dharma, why I have like I don't have to just attach to one or two people, rather my heart can open to everybody. It's amazing. Okay, the reason is a long story cut short. The reason I'm saying that, and I'm sharing this story, because some of you may have difficulty to regard, let's say, your mother as the kindest person in your life, because your mother didn't, you misunderstood that your mother didn't take care of you when you were little. Your mother abused you. Because I hear a lot. Some people say, no, mother, no. You don't talk about my mother. I have very bad relationship. Because of she did this, she did harm, like that. But in relation to my parents, my mother never. My mother is, everything is about, gentleness, kindness, love, etc. There's no faults for me to describe. But the second closest, biological closest person is your father. That's why I'm giving an example. Even in case, your mother have been very, very difficult to you, but when you're looking at the current position where you are, you have to understand, you have to accept that, yes, actually there is even 1,000 times more reason than my story that I have just shared. Because my story is in relation to my father, and that you attach to someone that who in fact, given the direct body, who kept you in the womb for 9 months, who without direct protection is not possible. The life that what we have now, the all the senses that you're hearing, the teaching, you're reading, all this, you have met the perfect Mayanic guru. You are practicing the greatest and the complete Dharma. What can we ask more meaning than this in our life? And some of you are Sangha. Can imagine. And some of you, not even Sangha, but then you have Bodhisattva vows, Tantric vows, refuge vows, 5 lay vows, unbelievable precepts that you have. You see, when you learn detail about how all these fortunes are possible, when you refer to the merit that you have to accumulate for that, it's like is eons of effort, is abundance of merit, only possible, whatever things that we have achieved is possible, you see. So everything, play root to the mother. So that's the reason what I'm saying, you see. Those of you who have a good connection with your mother, then it's easy for this meditation, you just use your mother, then so easy, because from every aspect, she is the closest to you, she is the kindest to you in your life, every aspect. So my reason of sharing my father's story is, even in the most crucial period, was it someone that you have done, someone have done to you in a very cruel way, but then when you give proper reason, analytical reason, then you see from that perspective, in fact, that has been one of the very big reason where you are today, you see. So like that. So that's the reason. You see, when our previous lives, when anyone's previous lives, before taking rebirth, especially to take rebirth in the womb, is how much they struggle in the intermediate state. When you learn about the how the journey that happens from death to intermediate state to rebirth, the period of finding the karmic infinited parents is a huge challenges. During that period, our spirit become wandering spirit. It's like wander endlessly, just simply to meet the karmic infinited mother or karmic infinited parent. And it's basically to meet the place to settle yourself. Like a find like endlessly finding home. You see, the mother's womb is the only place that that wandering spirit can settle. You see, so when you learn about the wandering spirits, the anxiety, the hallucinations, the fear, the sufferings is immense. The whatever suffering that we go through in life, compared to that, the anxiety is like numberless times more. It's like restlessly, you see. So you see, so the moment the consciousness enter into the mother's womb, then they settle there. You see, that's how have the basis to form the rest of the the grow, the aggregates, where how then the human beings come into our life. You see, so when you think from that point of view, for this precious human rebirth, if all the mother's womb have rejected you, we will not have this precious human rebirth. We will not meet His Holiness the Dalai Lama. We will not meet Gyabchen Lama Sopa Rinpoche. We will not hear their teachings. We will not have all this, precious practices that which literally making possible enlightenment within this very lifetime. Unbelievable. Mother played a role, huge role. You see. And those of you who have been mother, you will know when your stomach grow with the baby in, how uncomfortable. You see. How uncomfortable it may be. And I hear just during the first time of pregnancy, like the nausea, etc. All this emotional crisis that happens. It's so painful, but still didn't give up on you. Unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable. The weight, you have to carry, If you eat one extra bowl of rice, you have such a hard time, isn't it? Just to have one small bowl of extra rice in your tummy, you already have such a hard time. If you just add one extra potato, you have such a hard time. Can you imagine baby in your stomach? Not just one day, for 9 months. Unbelievable sacrifices. Unbelievable. Just to actualize who you are today. You see? Wow. Then at the time of giving birth, and those of you, your mother, you will know. If it's natural birth, unbelievable. I hear from, some villagers, including my sister-in-law, some, once you give birth to a baby, then there's suddenly kind of like emotional crisis comes, and it's so scary. That difficulty that goes through. And can you imagine if especially those mothers have not much support from environment, like families, how much suffering they have to go through. You see, then the pain, when you look into the teaching, how much pain it describes, unbelievable. You don't have to tear the skin, but just to separate this, how much pain that we experience. Can you imagine? Then some go through cesarean birth. We think it's so easy, just cut, just poke a small needle on your finger, small needle, you freak out. So painful, isn't it? Just small needle, poke like that. I just accidentally, accidentally rub my elbow or whatever, this one, to the wall. And this little cut was so painful. Can you imagine at the stomach, the whole big hole cut, and you take out the baby from there? Then the healing process. This little wound, so difficult to heal. Can you imagine? Then the period of healing, so painful, so difficult, make it so inconvenient. So inconvenient. When you take shower, inconvenient. When you wash your face, inconvenient. When you wash your dish, inconvenient. And some more on the stomach. And the mother, after pregnancy, after giving birth, it still will not allow you to just rest on the bed, feed you. No. You have first thing, you have to take care of the baby. And you still need to go to job. You see, and need to wear clothes, etc. Can you imagine? Unbelievable. This is meditation. This is meditation. We have to meditate like that to really to feel it, from depth of our heart. You see. You see, sometimes when we meet our mother, or when we, some little disagreements, we start to argue, we say wrong thing, we show some disrespect, So all these are sign of we don't have the realizations of this, realization of the loving kindness, compassion in relation to your mother. You see, when we have proper understanding of this teaching, our relation to our mother will be completely changed. You see, it will be so wonderful. You see. Yeah. So first we need to develop that with our mother. Then rest of the numberless sentient beings, has been played the same role, not only one time, numberless times. Because our samsaric reincarnation is numberless before. You see. So this is very logical. Very, very logical. Yeah. So because of she, my mother first gave me this human existence of leisure and opportunity, which she nurtured without any negligence. I've encountered the Buddha's teaching. Because of this, today it is possible to grab happiness by it is very snort. Happiness is a two-way understanding. Accumulation of causes of endless future happiness. Because of this precious human rebirth, the human intelligence, in particularly the qualities of the precious human rebirth. You see, all this very much dependent on our mother. We are able to gather so much, causes of future happiness until the happiness of everlasting, the peace of in full enlightenment. The virtue itself also can name the name of the result, which is the happiness, because a result of the virtue is happiness. So giving name to the name of the result to the cause. So there are such, what you call the understandings that giving name of the result to the cause. So here, it is possible to grab happiness, but it is very small. So whenever we get chance to accumulate virtue, we are accumulating happiness. You see, she has thus helped me. So because of all this reason, she have helped me. You see, so you have to rationalize. So this is analytical meditation. Okay, throughout all stages, when I was in her womb and after birth, she nurtured me with impossible act of kindness. You see, impossible act of kindness. Sometimes we think that we have repaid kindness to our mother, but compared to the kindness of the mother to us is incompatible. Incompatible. The mother will never say how much kindness I have done to you, because their kindness is unconditional. That's why they don't even remember how much kindness they have done to you. You see, sometimes we human beings are quite naughty or quite unacceptable when we relate to our mother. Still now also, after, the mother is already very old age, already age is catching up, and still the mother is the one that putting all the efforts to, express care, love, gentleness, even carefulness of, making sure I don't offend to my child, my grown-up child, my teenage child, my old age child, whatever, still, but then we children, to our mother, even though mother is already old, the way we relate to them is like, yeah, you should be more softer to me, you know, uh, you know, yes, I am the one who should receive more love from you because you're a mother, you see, and you expect more, you see. Sometimes this happens, you see. See, in actual fact, like what his son is saying, how his son is, is the greatest example. The respect that his son is showing to her mother is my guru, my first guru. So, how would you respect to your guru? How would you behave to your guru when you see your guru, when you talk to your guru, and your physical gesture, your mental attitude, your verbal tone, everything will be very special, isn't it? But we don't do that with our mother. And that's a mistake in this very, very special practice. You see? You see? In this stage of your age in your life, when it comes to mother, only has to be related with only with respect, verbally, physically, and in the thoughts. You see. So if we aspire for Mahayanic Dharma, Bodhicitta, enlightenment, and this is the one of very important step. Without actualizing this practice, we cannot improve ourselves. How much we know, how precious we believe this teaching, how precious it sounds, we cannot improve. Basically, we cannot go forward, to the stages of the path. Mm. So continue to educate our mind through this analytical thinking with reasoning. So the text says, throughout all stages, when I was in the womb and after birth, she nurtured me with impossible act of kindness. Not only that, since samsara's beginningless time, she has constantly watched me with eyes of love, perpetually held me with affection, and repeatedly protected me from harms and misfortunes. So that is the fact. Even how much we misunderstand our mother, this is the fact. Even how much you have received scolding from your mother when you are young, when you are teenage, when you are naughty, I confidently used to say this whenever related teachings comes by. In relation to our mother, even they may beat you up, they may scold you, they may even physically abandon you, accuse you, whatever it may be, the blame has to go only to yourself, not to the mother. When it comes to mother, not to the mother. The mother's love to you, it has to be unconditional. And such kind of drastic, the actions that she has to be taken, she have taken, meaning it has to be either under that she is under the control of delusion, under the control of past karmic hindrances, or under the control of whatever adversities that she's going through. Otherwise, the relation from mother to child is never like that. Never like that. So that's one reason. Another reason is ourselves as a children. We might be rebellious, we might be inconsiderate, ungrateful, or most of all, doing wrong things. And all the harsh act that she has provided to us is very much in the motivation of taking care of us, to change or to protect us from wrongdoings, from dangers. You see, so this is that we need to think. The fact is, beginningless lifetime, as far as concerned with the mother to child. You see, whatever went wrong, the reason has to be ourselves, not the mother. It's very tough, isn't it? For some, I've given, I've done one teaching in relation to this in I think in Israel or somewhere. One time, I think I almost got into trouble. But then, but giving a lot of reason, then people understand. Otherwise they say, no, my mother only abused me, abandoned me. She didn't love me enough, or whatever. But the real fact is, so therefore we need to do thorough analytical meditation until we get to the conclusion of to get the genuine confirmed meditation object, to do observation meditation on loving kindness, compassion, or altruism in relation to sentient being. Start from our mother, like that. She has given me so much benefit and happiness, has thus embodied true kindness. Reflect thus and cultivate the depth of emotion such that tears fall from your eyes and the hairs of your paws stand on end. So you need to give reasoning. You need to convince yourself with the scriptural supports, the teachings, the factual reasons, or the emotional, the reasons that that the experience that you had with your mother, until that the tears are naturally falls, until the goosebumps naturally stand up, which are the effect of deep in your heart is already touched. You see. So we have to analyze until like that. Until that really feel from the depth, and until that you just until come to a point that you only see reasons to be only love, and repay the kindness of your mother, only see the positiveness in relation to your mother. So once you get that, then there's a sense of feeling, in-depth feeling, confirmation, like totality, the positive, relation quality in relation to your mother, that comes, deeply in your heart. Then that feeling, that conclusion, that steady feeling is the object which you take into an object of absorption meditation on love or compassion or bodhicitta, whatever it is. Just recently, there's one teaching from His Dalai Lama. He was teaching on, how to meditate on loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta. So he was guiding, first learn the definition, then after that do the analysis. It's very much like this, what the teaching says. Then then that solid, confirm, definite, irreversible feeling that comes, the heart touch feeling that comes in your heart, then you place your concentration on that. You place, your focus on that feeling. That can be a wonderful feeling, very heart touch feeling. That can be, when you are so heart touch, there's some feeling comes, isn't it? When you are so moved, there's some feeling comes, isn't it? Or that feeling, you try to sustain that feeling for, few seconds, few minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. And that is the way to channel that practice into a realization of the meditation, which is the path. How to lead to a realization this is the way. You see, so so when you are focusing, then you are not analyzing. You already have done enough analyzation. You see, now you just need to focus, stay as steady focus as possible without any other thinking, without any distraction. Just simply remain steadily focused on that conclusion feeling. Again and again, again and again. You see, there may be some disturbing thoughts may comes in or distraction may comes in. Then you try to bring your awareness back to that meditation. Then try to sustain, try to train like that. So then this is the way that will make us very much like nature of our being. Eventually, loving kindness, compassion is like very much nature of our being. It's like part of your bone and blood. You see, no need to give a reason to express love, kindness, compassion. It's like always, like fully awakened in your system. Fully awakened in your system. You see, and that is the result of the meditation. That is to reach that point, just analytical meditation not good enough. Just knowing not good enough. Just philosophically knowing, like detail, the definition not good enough at all. You see, must do absorption meditation to have that taste. You see, like that. Then I continue from the text. You should reflect how sad that she, my kind mother, has been wandering in the infinite cycle of existence with so many kind of suffering, all the while working for my benefit. In return, I shall now help her by providing her benefit and happiness. I shall protect her from harm and all misfortune. You should reflect in this manner. So this is another way, another angle of, again, educating your mind through analysis. Then again, come to a conclusion to do the absorption meditation. You see, so there's not only like one angle. There could be many different angles that you take, you conclude as object of your meditation on love, kindness, and compassion. What harms this dear mother? The suffering harms her directly, while the origin of the suffering injure her indirectly. So also meditate on the first two truths of the Four Noble Truths. Reflect on the mother's pervasive suffering, mother's the suffering of change, suffering of pain. Then, as a human being, the another suffering, like all the 8 sufferings of the human being. You reflect on that. You reflect on this. Then try to generate love, kindness, and compassion. So the suffering is the first noble truth. The origin of suffering, the second noble truth. The cause of suffering. I shall take all this upon myself. Then now do the Tonglen of, you see. So you nurture your heart with love, kindness, and compassion. Then now, you come to a point that you really genuinely can do the taking and giving, Tonglen practice. So I shall take all this upon myself. You see, now you take unconditionally, wholeheartedly. You see, you're able to do so because you have fully nurtured your heart with genuine love, genuine kindness, genuine compassion. Your heart is already, fully prepared through the training of analytical meditation, then absorption meditation. Now, actually, doing the actual practice of Tonglen, it's become so easy, so genuine and so great, So I shall take all this upon myself, take into your own heart and in clean swath, as if layer sheared off by a sharp knife, all the sufferings and their origins and the afflictions and the subtle defilement to knowledge along with their prophecies. So, so what you are taking from your mother and the mother sentient being. If you are doing this Tonglen practice with your mother, then what you are taking from her is uh, uh, the all the sufferings. You see, the conventional suffering that whatever she's going through, you try to elevate them by yourself, verbally, physically, intentionally, by engaging in your very best way. Then you take away the origin of suffering. If there's any conventional, the origin of suffering, there may be some inconvenient, obstacles. They may be out there. Then you go and help and solve it. The ultimate the aspect of the origin of the suffering is very much her delusion and her past karma. So then, through providing, whatever means, if your mother understands Dharma, then you try to, lead her into Dharma practice, purification practice. Or if from her side, she don't have capability to understand Dharma, then in her name, we do practices for her. We do all the different practices in her name. We do charity. We do sangha offerings. We do prayers. We do light offerings. We do all the 6 preparatory practices. We do retreat in the name of your mother. We do pilgrimage in the name of your mother. You can do precept in the name of your mother. You can take vows in the name of your mother. You can become monk or nun in the name of your mother. You dedicate whole life in the complete vow of preordination or getsul or fully ordination. In the name of your mother. Oh, that is how you are. Taking care of your mother. How you are conditioning her to purify, the samsara, the suffering, and the origin of her samsara, because you are directly linked with her. And by you doing that, especially in the name of her, she receives, immense benefits, you see. So that way, from future lifetime onward, that she don't have to, come back to the samsara and suffer like that, you see. So we can do so many virtues, all the virtues you dedicate, and one of the very powerful is in the name of your mother, you abstain from any harm through your body, speech, and mind to any other sentient being, starting from your mother and any other sentient being, and you cultivate, your life into only virtues in the name of your mother. See, unbelievable practice. You see, so this is how you slash away, her sufferings, her origin of sufferings. Like soft as if layer of shared or by sharp knife of all her sufferings, all her origin of sufferings. Okay, afflictions. You see, the root delusions, secondary delusions, and all the conceptual hallucinations. Then subtle, afflictions here in particular referring to the obstacle to nirvana, the delusional obstacle to nirvana. Then subtle defilement is referring to the obstacle to omniscience, along with their propensity, means the stain, the stain, the root of all these afflictions and the defilements, like completely, uh, all which exists in your dear mother, whatever exists in your mother, completely, you purify. You have to purify for them. You see, so so in bodhicitta, like whatever we do in the motivation of bodhicitta. Whatever action we do, that all action infused by bodhicitta intention, and at the end of any action, we dedicate in bodhicitta, and this is one of the way, that you are engaging this practice. In the help of all sentient beings, all mother sentient beings, so like that. So this is the meditation on the taking aspect of the awakening mind. Taking aspect of awakening mind. So when you visualize taking all these negativities on mother onto you, is onto your self-grasping mind, self-cherishing mind. Onto you means to the false I. False I, which is the root cause of why samsara in first place come into existence, to your existence. You see, why the samsaric relationship that you have with the sentient beings also mainly is the root of this your own self-grasping and self-cherishing attitude. You see, so now you are taking all this onto the self-grasping and self-cherishing attitude. The stages of effect, the dismantling or the decreasing of the self-cherishing, self-grasping taking place in your heart, that itself is the sign of the benefit that taking into the mother sentient being, starting from your mother and the rest of the mother sentient being. You see, how much you are taking their suffering onto you, how much you are giving virtues to other, how much intensity of Tonglen practice happening. You can see from the sign of how much decreasement of your self-grasping and self-cherishing attitude. So then again, thinking, I shall myself seek the complete happiness of my dear mother, unconditionally offer your body, wealth, and all your virtues to your mother. So this is the meaning of the following line of the Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life. To accomplish the welfare of all sentient beings, I shall turn my body into wish-fulfilling jewel. So this is giving, So basically, dedicating your yourself totally, in the for the well-being of the mother sentient being, starting from your mother. You see. So of course, not just talking, but of course, first we practice through attitude. Through designing your attitude in the altruistic way. You see. Then in day-to-day, in our very best, physically, verbally, we engage whenever whoever comes in our way. We try our best to be in the help of them. You see, if someone experiencing poverty or medicine, it's not like your body become medicine. Because you turn yourself into wish fulfilling joy to others. And you turn into yourself into medicine. It doesn't mean that you become medicine. You at least assist to get the medicine for this person. If it is something to do with the medicine of Dharma, then you provide the advice. You provide you share your wisdom of Dharma with this person. You see, the physical conventional one, then you go and help to buy medicine for this person, or at least drive this person to go to see the doctor, get medicine, etc., etc. There's so many ways, you see, of yourself meaning becoming wish fulfilling jewel, like a medicine, like either like a medicine, like that. Unconditionally offer your body, you see, your body as a cleaner. You offer, if someone need cleaning, you offer as a cleaner. Someone need assistant, attendant, you offer as attendant. Someone need as a just to lift from the staircase, you just lift the person up. You see, someone carrying a heavy load, you just help to use your body to do that, etc. There are many stories of the Bodhisattvas that who turn their body as a bridge when someone unable to cross the river, and their body lay down, from this side to that side. Then let the person walk using your body as a bridge. So like that. Then wealth, you see, uh, you know, through giving correct advice about gathering of wealth, or dedicating of merit, etc., etc. There's so many ways, you see. Then, of course, dedication of all your virtues, as I mentioned before, you do in the name of the sentient being, or you dedicate your life, in all aspects of virtue in the benefit of sentient being, like that. So, exactly like what the guide, what says in the guide to the Bodhisattva way of life. So this word is good to get reminded, get chanted, recite like a mantra, like that. To accomplish the welfare of sentient being, I shall turn my body into wish fulfilling jewel. Okay, now time is offering. Time is offering. So imagine, so I read, imagine therefore your body, wealth, and the root of the virtues as a precious wish fulfilling jewel. From this emerge for your dear mother all the conditions for engaging in spiritual practices, such as food, clothing, shelter, assistance, and as well as reliance on the spiritual teacher, all the conditions favorable to the attainment of the enlightenment, whatever she wishes, you see. So, you see, there's a very, very, very powerful, very meaningful, if someone, even though yourself don't have time to do retreat, don't have time to do any virtuous practices, like someone is going to pilgrimage, then if you have no opportunity, then you support someone going to pilgrimage. You contribute, through maybe sponsoring them, or at least even the showing the map, etc. Then someone who is practicing retreats, you can financially support. You can offer your house for them to do retreat. You can sponsor food during the retreat. Like in Himalayas, retreaters, no problem of worry about foods, shelter. They just offer you everything. You see, if someone is doing retreat either in like an example, like in a monastery in my village, Rajan Nandire Umu monastery, anyone comes to do retreat, all the food will be taken care, all accommodations will be taken care. This is the culture there. You see, even you go to do retreat in the cave, any of the cave, the villagers will take turn to, like you may have a problem of having too many food, too many deliveries. You see, like that. I think 2000, I don't know, quite some time ago, I wanted to do the 3-year great retreat in Bhutan, but unable to. But I have stayed about 2 over months. So wanted to do a retreat in the tiger nest there. I think they don't allow it. So at the other side, at this side, there's a few village. So you just ask, I wish to do retreat. And they are so happy. They're so happy. They just provide, the room, and you can just stay logged into your room, and all the food, timely, deliciously, just put in front of your door, because they understand this, because these villagers they are too busy farming, too busy of taking care of children, but they appreciate if someone coming to do a retreat, and for them to support, they know that they also accumulate merit. This is the teaching. They may not went through this teaching, but they have this understanding. You see, like that, even in Ladakh, everywhere, in Himalayas. I think in Tibet also. I never been to Tibet. The part of the border of Tibet where my father came from, where there are Milarepas caves, even there, very remote, but if you do retreat from very far away, somehow people will know, and people will come and deliver food, but without disturbing you, so like that. So here in the West, we can do the same thing. There are so many people want to do retreat, but they have financial difficulty, they have accommodation difficulty, etc. So people who are capable, you can sponsor financially, or you can do in many ways, like that. Then, like the Dharma centers, like the organizations, one of very powerful way to help others is like providing the platform for people to study. Then you invite qualified and proper teachers, to the common members. All these are this practice that is talking about making yourself as a wish fulfilling joy in the service of others' needs. Mm. Mm. So this is the meditation on the giving aspect of awakening mind. In this manner, first cultivate loving kindness and compassion. Combine giving and taking, undertake their practice so that your heart become even more moist and ripe than before. So this is the practice of the aspirational bodhicitta practice. First you train in aspirational bodhicitta practice, then eventually you come to a point that you can take the aspirational bodhisattva vow, then cultivate very committedly on the cultivations in this way. As you train in this manner and become capable of making an actual exchange, that is, allaying your dear mother's suffering and seeking her happiness without cultivating the cause to yourself, you have reached the degree of success in this practice. So you have to do until that. The measure is that if your mother were to be reborn in the hell, for example, you would without hesitation plunge into the burning flames to rescue her. We have to come to that much urgency in our heart, that much selflessness, that much dedication, have to build in our heart in the help of others. Then proceed to the second session, which is first session you train in aspirational bodhicitta. Second session you train in the engaging bodhicitta practice. Again, similar way. First you train in your heart. Then eventually you take the engaging bodhisattva vows. Then be committed. Then gradually even engage in actual action. Not just in the thought but in actual action. So first you train in meditation like this. First, cultivate love and compassion toward all sentient beings, and then reflect. When I generated the mind of awakening, I give away my wealth, the root of virtue, to all sentient beings. I pledge to accomplish their welfare. Taking this responsibility upon myself, I must now undertake this in actually. As before, you should combine giving and taking and train in them. Here, when you engage in the giving, imagine each and every sentient being receive the complete set of your body, wealth, and virtues. Give this away wholeheartedly and with no conceptual elaboration, like totalness, complete releasing from any elaboration of conceptual, either like kind of, or maybe losing things, maybe I may not get it back, or maybe it's too much, or maybe don't know whether the receiver will receive or not. And all this conceptual elaboration should be abandoned. Thinking, whose over desire, take them. Do with them whatever you wish. Regard yourself as a medicinal tree, discarding medicinal tree. Okay, discarding joy and sadness, train with the mind and recite the word aloud. Recite the word aloud, like the word before, to accomplish all welfare of sentient being, I shall turn my body into wish fulfilling joy. So you can recite this, Then after that, you should pray. So in prayer, you can do the Tonglen practice. So before you do the Tonglen practice in relation to aspirational practice, engaging Bodhisattva practice, then now you can also do Tonglen practice in relation to prayer. May my body, wealth, and root of the virtue that I have unconditionally given away become food, drink, and clothing for those who lack them. May they become shelter for those who lack shelter. In this way, may I become the sole cause of happiness of both samsara and nirvana for all sentient May I become the sole cause of the happiness of both samsara and nirvana for all sentient beings. May I become the cause for eliminating all their sufferings. May all higher qualities and fruit of the path of all sentient beings come into being independent upon me. Train with your mind and recite this aspiration as well. So you can, all this can, you can just take into prayers, like recitation of prayers. You can do like that and meditate on it, cultivate on it. Or you can just combine everything into the two letter that from the Shantideva's word. To accomplish all welfare of sentient being, I shall turn my body into wish fulfilling joy. You can just recite that and reflect on the meaning, whichever to find easy for you. So when training in the when training in the such manner, you should rejoice. So now this is, you do the practice in relation to taking and giving, or whatever practices, in the practice of rejoicement, with the following thoughts. Give that even the Buddhas have no aim other than the welfare of a sentient being. Joyful indeed it is that I have the opportunity to implement from this very instant the hard practice of the great Lord of the 10 levels, the great Lord of the 10 levels, the Buddha. Again, take upon yourself the subtle obscuration to knowledge that exists within the disciple, the self-realized one. Then you take the not only the ordinary sentient being, but also the hero and solitary self-realized, who are in a completely absorption of concentration, self-liberation, and they still possess this, subtle obscuration. So before the subtle obscuration that, when we talk about the suffering, then delusional obscuration, then the obscuration to omniscience, then the last one, the subtle obscuration, you can that can refer to the obstruction that which possessed by the who remain in nirvana or peace by the solitary and hero realizers, which obstruct them to awake from the concentration and work for the well-being of sentient being to then attain full enlightenment. So that also, you take. Again, take upon yourself the subtle obscuration to knowledge that exists within the disciple, the self-realized one, and the noble bodhisattvas abiding on the label. And as you give noble, even the Arya Bodhisattva, uh, noble bodhisattvas, the Arya Bodhisattvas, they have not actualized the full enlightenment yet. So the stain of the obscurations also, you take onto yourself. You see, and as you give them your three factors, body, wealth, and root of virtue, imagine that as a result they accomplish their accumulation and train and attain Buddhahood. All this noble one can also be included within the general category of sentient being, or alternately, they can be visualized separately. Choose whichever is most convenient. So some people have trouble of including, bodhisattvas and solitary realizers as an object of your dedication of prayer, because compared to you, they are already in high level of the path. But in fact, now here is a clarification. Until that fully achieve enlightenment, all are object of our dedication of merit and practice. Place the two astride your breath. You should train in the two, giving and taking, in relation to respiratory exhalation and inhalation. This makes it easier to maintain your mental focus because the breath is readily available, and this method combat many false conceptualizations. So all the earlier the practices in relation to love, kindness, compassion, in relation to expression of bodhicitta, in relation to engaging bodhicitta, in relation to Tonglen practice, in relation to prayers, Tonglen practice in relation to rejoicement, all the teaching that we discussed. First, you can train through the method of respiratory inhalation and exhalation. On the basis of that. So first you prepare. Either you prepare yourself in the meditation of whatever discussed through the certain degree of training in the breathing exercise. Then gradually, then after that, then you do the analytical meditation. Then after that, when you gain the wisdom of analytical meditation, then that wisdom, that experience, you can train, you can get into absorption in the respiratory inhalation and exhalation until that you become, free of conceptual disturbances. Once you are free from conceptual disturbances, then from the analytical meditation, when you actualize the wisdom of analytical meditation, then directly you just get into absorption. But for many beginners, unable to do that. So for that reason, you use the platform of the respiratory breathing. Doing Tonglen practice on the breathing. Through the breathing platform. You see, so you see. So the wisdom analysis, whenever you breathe out, then that sense of overwhelming love, kindness, compassion, whatever it is, you give out. Whenever you breathe in, like whatever negative it is that all sentient being, like taking into you, taking onto the self-grasping. So just simply focusing on these two thoughts, like that. So stabilize your mind in like that. And either you take the breathing exercise as a preparatory, or as a platform of the actual practice. Both has a benefit of clearing the conceptual disturbances. It helps us to get a more focused mind like that. Okay, so thank you very much. I better stop here. So I'm already taking too much of your time. So we do short dedication, okay? So whatever merit we accumulated through this session, and all the merits of the past Buddha, past, present, future Buddhas, Gurus, and yourself, be complete cause for numberless sentient beings' happiness, to eradicate all the sufferings, all the adversities that the world is facing. We dedicate this for the long life of all the good people, like His Holiness Dalai Lama, Lama Suvarnabhuje, and all the gurus, and yourself, your family members. And also specifically dedicate to all those who ask for prayers, those who are sick, those who pass away, those who are having trouble. May this merit be cause for, their wish to fulfilled. In short, then we dedicate, like how the Bodhisattva Samanabhata, Bodhisattva Charasik, how they dedicate any form of merit for the benefit of sentient being, we too dedicate the same way. Okay, so thank you very much. So this coming week, those of you who are interested, then as a homework, we whatever the meditation on emptiness that we discussed before, that should carry on all the time. But then you insert, these certain specific subjects, in between. So this week, the specific subject is try to do the Tonglen practice, at least using the the breathing, taking the breathing as a tool to do the Tonglen practice, and also try to read at least one or a few times of whatever we have whatever we have studied, because my reading, because I get distracted by putting a lot of thoughts that comes, then just simply inserting it and until everything become mixed up. So it can be very confusing to you. So then, but you heard, many things. And now when you read and you have a clear picture. Okay. So like that. So thank you very much and take care and have a good week ahead. And yes, be happy, be positive, be hopeful, because we really need, the world really need, our family really need, your city, your town, your sender, your individual home, everybody need a lot of good energy, a lot of positivity in order to overcome all the challenges that world is going around individually or in the larger in the world. So therefore, someone like who know the Dharma, who know the practice of emptiness, who know the practice of bodhicitta, try to use this wisdom to stay happy spirit, stay positive spirit. If we don't put effort to do that, due to our past habituation, so easy to get depressed, so easy to think negative, so easy to feel unhappy. If we don't guard our mind properly all the time with this Dharma wisdom, uh, the habituation is so powerful that just intrude. There's nothing is wrong, but then it still make you unhappy, feel empty, feel worthless. Just something is not nice like that. We have full potential to be always, joy, bliss, happy. You see, then Dharma wisdom, uh, can help that. You see, like for me, sometimes reading text doesn't work. Then I listen the audio. Sometimes audio doesn't work. Then meditation. Sometimes meditation doesn't work. Reading, then and also some other thing like gardening. Just even there's only one flower, you just like go and check it, just water it, but with wearing the lenses of the Dharma wisdom, not just go there and blindly, like looking at flower, not just that, to maximize the beauty of the flower and and actualize the condition, that meeting with that flower as a condition to bring so much happiness to you, influence you greatly until next few hours that you can be so happy. You're completely like positive, you know. So for that, we always have to wear the Dharma glasses, Dharma ear plug, you know. Basically, all our five senses has to wear Dharma, uh, Dharma lenses or some Dharma understanding, So with that, but externally can be many things, reading, uh, analytical meditation, absorption meditation, anything, or like I always mentioned before, like cooking. I'm just reminding because sometimes these things so easy to forget, because we have so much distractions and strong habituation of the past. So that's why so easy to forget. So that's why even though some of you may be hearing again and again and repeating the same thing, but for some will be helpful. Okay. I always used to say, if you look for reasons to be happy, there's abundance and abundance of reasons to be happy. Everywhere is reasons to be happy. Everything, every experience is reasons to be happy. And happiness is very important. Positive thinking, very important. Uplifted spirit is very important because that generates good energy, good environment. And that helps to the happiness of the family, happiness of the people around you, happiness of the animals around you, including cats and dogs, etc. You see, when the owner is very sad, when the owner is very down, very negative, I'm sure the dogs, cats, they also realize and they get depressed. I think. You see, I think Yeah, so like that. So please be happy. Okay. Thank you. I pray, I think all of you, and I'm sure you will do that to all sentient beings too. Take care. Bye bye. And sorry for taking too much of your time.